My name is Jocelyn, and I believe that racism is still a big problem. Throughout middle school and a portion of high school, I didn't think much about race. I was surrounded by people of many races and grew up with people from a variety of different backgrounds and ethnicities. Growing up in McDonough, Georgia, a small suburb of Atlanta, allowed me to be exposed to an assortment of people with many different feelings and thoughts about race and racism. As I grew older, I began to recognize how race played a role in my school and community. I noted how my school was very segregated despite the racial diversity present. It was not uncommon to see a lunch table with only black students and another with only white students. Although I unconsciously recognized the slight racial divide, I did not let that refrain me from becoming close with people of all races. Even so, my friends Keeling and Casey made me further aware of this racial divide. They told me that their neighborhood was the black neighborhood, and I probably would stand out if I came to visit them. In addition, my friend Roshane often told me how she felt that she was too black for the white kids and too white for the black kids. Despite these few isolated events, I had never thought of race and racism as being a larger social issue until I encountered racist remarks firsthand. One day, as I was waiting for the bus in my friend Abigail's house, I became aware of how her family spoke about and thought of race during a discussion about the upcoming presidential election. They spoke about their dislike of Barack Obama and how they would be upset if he became president. They spoke poorly of him not because of his political views, but because of his race. They made snide comments about his presumed inability to run the country. They even went as far as to say that they would be moving out of the country if he became president. I became extremely agitated and frustrated, realizing that one of my best friends, as well as her family, had extremely strong racist views. Although I was young, I realized at that moment how polar opposite our thoughts and views were about people of different races. Her family talked openly about the strong racial prejudices and discriminatory views that they held. Because these views were discriminatory against many of my close friends, I realized that my friendship with Abigail and my relationship with her family could no longer continue. Even though I was young, this encounter has had a lasting impression on me due to the strong racism I encountered that was treated as though it was normal. This encounter allowed me to unknowingly begin my journey as an anti-racist ally. When I moved from Georgia to Peoria, Illinois, I noted the dramatic decrease in racial diversity. However, my anti-racist thoughts and views that were formed from my encounter with racism were still present. Overall, the racist remarks I encountered in middle school from my best friend and her family allowed me to step back and think, how many other people in America think the same way? I'm Jocelyn, and my story challenges the belief that race is no longer an issue in this country.